So today we're talking about the area of circles and sectors. And honestly, this is really pretty easy. Of course, we've got to put a couple of crazy things in there. But overall, it's relatively an easy lesson. Area of a circle is pi r squared, where r is the radius. Here's an example. We want to find the area of the circle. What have they given us? The diameter. So if the diameter is 20, what does that make the radius? 10. So I've got a radius of 10. I'm going to plug it into my formula, which is pi r squared. So I have pi times 10 squared, which is 100 pi feet squared. That is an exact answer. So it may ask for an exact answer. It may ask you to round to the nearest tenth. So if you plug that into the calculator, you get 314.2, I believe. Yeah, 314.2. And so that's the area of a circle, okay? Basically, that's pretty easy. They might ask you to work backwards, okay? It says find the radius of the circle with an area of 95 square centimeters. So again, here is my formula, pi r squared. They give me the area, which is 95, okay? You want to solve for r. And I recommend that you just do everything on the paper and then plug it into your calculator. But you're going to divide by pi, okay, which is 95 over pi equals r squared. And then to get r by itself, you want to take the square root. If you divide 95 by pi and then try to take the square root, you're going to have to round. If you do it like this, you can do everything in one step, okay? And so in your calculator, you're going to put the square root button and then 95 divided by pi, and you should get 5.5 for the radius. And that is in centimeters. Any questions on what I did there? Everybody see how I did everything on the paper and then I plugged it in? Okay. All right, now here's another one. This one's got a little bit of tricks to it here. It wants us to find the area of the shaded region. Now, to find the area of the shaded, I have to find the area of the circle and subtract the area of the triangle. Okay, so I got a couple of steps that I have to hop through here. Now I look at this triangle here. I need to find the area of the circle and the area of the triangle. But to find the area of the circle, I need the radius, and I don't have the radius. But I have this triangle, and one side of that triangle is the diameter. So what does that tell me? Okay. Okay, how did you know it was 3069?
Anything that flows in the circle is the right triangle.
Okay, intercept in the semicircle. It intercepts the diameter, intercepts the semicircle is right. Okay, good. I just want to make sure you're on. All right, so you said that the short side is 8. We've got the long, which is radical 3 times the short. Okay, we take our long, we divided it by radical 3, which made my short 8, which made my diameter 16. Good. So what does that make my radius? 8. Okay, so my radius is 8. So I can come over here and I can do the area of the circle, which is going to be pi times 8 squared, which is 64 pi. That's what this part is right there, 64 pi. Okay, now I need to find the area of the triangle. Okay, an area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. What are my base and my height?
Base is 16.
No, be careful, because your base and your height have to be perpendicular. Okay, so we've got 8 times 8 radical 3 divided by 2. Okay, 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 8, that's 32 radical 3 for the area of the triangle. So we're going to subtract 32 radical 3. So we have 64 pi minus 32 radical 3, and I get 145.6. And that is units squared, because they did not give me measurement. Everybody see what I did there? See how I left it all exact and then subtracted and then rounded at the end? Everybody understand that? Okay? And show me those steps, because let's say you mess up on one part, but you get the other part right, I'll at least give you a little bit of credit on your test. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is a sector. Okay? And a sector is a region of a circle bounded by a central angle and its intercepted arc. It's basically a little pie piece. Okay? This right here is a sector. It's not a triangle because all three sides aren't line segments. This right here is curved. Okay, that is curved. All right, so that's called a sector. And when you want to find the area of the sector, it's like when we found the length of an arc. Okay, because it's part of the circumference. The area of the sector is part of the area of the circle. So we can set up a proportion. And our proportion looks like this. The area of the sector is to the area of the circle, which is pi r squared, as the measure of the central angle is to 360. So area of the sector is to the area of the circle as the measure of the central angle is to 360. So in this problem right here, it says a circular pizza has a diameter of 12 inches and is cut into 8 congruent slices. What is the area of one slice to the nearest 100? Okay, so we're going to follow this little formula here. We're looking for the area of one sector. Okay, we're looking for the area of one sector. And so that's my unknown. Okay, that's what goes up here on top. And then it's over the area of the circle. Tells me the diameter of my circle is 12. So what's the area going to be? Pi times 6 squared, right? So the area of the circle is pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi, right? So it's going to be x over 36 pi. Then it asks for the measure of the central angle. Now, I don't know what that is, but I know that I have 8 pieces of pie, right? They're all the same. And so how do I find the measure of the central angle? You divide 360 by 8, which is 45 degrees. Okay, so you put 45 over 360. So area of the sector is to the area of the circle. The measure of the central angle is to 360. And so then you just cross multiply. And you get 360 equals... thank you. 360x. Thank you. 360x, and then we get 36 times 45, which is 1620 pi. And then you divide both sides by 360. And we get 14.1 inches squared. So that's the area of one sector. Now, what if they ask me for 2 sectors? Yes. Here? Sure, yeah, you could. What if it asked me for 2 sectors? You could take that answer and multiply it by 2. If they wanted 3, you could multiply by 3. Another thing you could do is up here in your formula, instead of using the 45 degrees, if they wanted 2 sectors, what would you do? 90 degrees. Okay, so you could do that either way. And then somebody in my last hour says, well, couldn't you find the area of this circle and divide by 8? Sure, you could do that too, couldn't you? You could, but that may not always be the case. So you need to know that formula, because in the next one that wouldn't work. Okay. And the next one is just a random pie piece. It's not broken into equal parts. Okay. So you do need to know how to use that formula. All right. So we want to find the area of the shaded sector round to the nearest 10. So the sector is what I'm looking for. That's my unknown. I have a radius of 4. So is the area of the sector over the area of the circle? What's the area of the circle going to be? 16 pi. Okay. And then what do you put next? 53 over 360. Good. All right, so we cross multiply. We get 360x equals 16 times 53, which is 848 pi. And then we divide both sides by 360. And and we get 7.4 feet squared. You know, I think in that one above, it asked for the nearest hundredth, didn't it? So really, we should have had 1620 pi divided by 360. Should have been 1/4. So 14.14. All right, any questions? Area of a circle, pi r squared, right? That's easy. Okay, the area of the sector, you have to set up the proportion, okay? Area of the sector is the area of the circle. Measure of the central angle is to 360. All right, your assignment is on the board.